different performance skills at the exploratory level. The group offers clients a safe place in which they can investigate their personal systems of volition, habituation, and performance through the use of a nonverbal communication and motor skills in order to develop more meaningful roles within their social environment. In regards to Trombley's occupational functioning model and praxis, the Step It Out protocol is well suited for use among clients with apraxia secondary to CNS insults. By applying Trombley's occupational functioning model to this population, we can show how remediation of organic substrates or body structures, in this case the CNS, can improve first-level capacities or body functions, in this case motor planning, through a movement-based intervention like STEP. The occupational functioning model is hierarchical and shows how injury to first-level capacities resulting in apraxia has the potential to globally disrupt all areas of occupation. Remediation at this level facilitates engagement in higher-level occupations with greater personal meaning attached to the execution of those occupations. The Step It Out protocol can be adapted to meet the level of need for apraxic clients. This includes downgrading by limiting movement to simple gestures, or upgrading by incorporation of bilateral movement and the use of upper and lower extremities. As you'll hear more about shortly, the Step It Out protocol has been used with clients who have a diagnosis of schizophrenia. There is evidence that motor deficits are an important feature of schizophrenia, although it's often neglected in treatment. These include problems with grip strength, precision grip, and finger dexterity, which all relate to fine motor coordination. Problems with gait, incoordination, and clumsiness all relate to gross motor coordination, as well as abnormal eye movement patterns. The Step It Out group targets gross motor coordination as well as praxis. Problems with praxis are not specifically cited in the literature on schizophrenia, although clumsiness may imply problems with motor planning. In regards to STEP and sensory processing, as we know, sensory modulation is the capacity to organize a person's response to sensory input through grading and adaptation in order to maximize occupational performance and fulfillment of daily life activities. People with sensory modulation disorders exhibit the following problems which are targeted by STEP. These include emotional dysregulation, poor motor control and planning, poor sense of body and space, difficulties engaging in conversations, and problems with change or transitions. Sensory modulation disorders are characterized as either being sensory over-responsive, sensory under-responsive, sensory seeking, or sensory avoidant. There are also sensory-based motor coordination and praxis disorders which may also be helped by STEP, including people who seem clumsy, have difficulty in coordinating movement, prefer sedentary lifestyles, and tend to lean or slouch. There are also sensory modulation activity choices to target specific sensory systems, which are involved in STEP's heavy foot stomping, clapping, and dance movements, including strong auditory and tactile stimulation. This may need to be modified as to not aggravate those with sensory defensive patterns. Other sensory systems targeted by STEP include the proprioceptive system, where stimulation is derived through large muscle, joint receptors, and tendons during movement against resistance, as well as the vestibular system, which is located in the inner ear and contributes to our awareness of head, body positioning, as well as movement in time and space. Champagne has identified specific sensory approaches to use with clients with specific disorders, some of which are embodied in STEP and may help to explain its effectiveness. For example, people with psychotic disorders benefit from heavy work activities, sensory motor groups, and the decreasing of task complexity. People with mood disorders may benefit from the alerting aspect of STEP, as well as use of rhythm to shift moods. Participation in familiar, repetitive, rhythmic, tactile, and kinesthetic occupations is beneficial for modulation of arousal as well as emotion. Once the group members learn the STEP sequence, repetition of rhythm and kinesthetic experience is helpful to the members to feel more comfortable and more in control of their own emotions. In regards to cognitive remediation, in the Step It Out group, specific cognitive impairments are targeted. These cognitive skills, which this activity aimed at improving, are attention, memory, and several aspects of executive functioning, including sequencing, as well as following directions. STEP requires all types of attention, including selective, shifting, divided, and sustained attention. With the group divided into smaller subsections that carry out different simultaneous patterns, it warrants inhibition of what the other group is doing. Step It Out challenges the cognitive ability of the participants when group members are asked to pay attention to the movement and sound, follow the sequence of the steps, and remember as well as repeat the movements. Leaders of the group found that in order for the participants with cognitive disabilities to perform the step sequence, the pattern had to be broken down and practiced in smaller sequences. This involved grading as well as allowing clients to return to the step pattern, which they had already mastered and was a simpler version. Clients remained engaged even when they could not keep up with the more complex patterns. Key movements used in the Step It Out group are repetition and rehearsal. STEP also provides an opportunity to practice varied cognitive strategies such as verbal remediation, self-talk, imagery, and problem-solving approaches. Lastly, in regards to empowerment theory emphasizes the benefit of client choice. It also links the value of individual choice and the ability to function independently. Occupational therapists, as well as other professionals, are using an empowerment approach successfully with the homeless population who have a history of psychiatric problems. Occupational therapists have focused on life skills development with this population, empowering their clients to choose their own goal areas and giving them control over their own therapy sessions. Within the STEP group, leaders can make client choice and empowerment the primary goal and therapeutic strategy. This encourages clients to invent their own step patterns, adding music and singing. Clients are asked to state something that empowers himself or herself, and the group steps with the notion they're actually stepping towards their own empowerment. STEP can become a metaphor for empowerment and grant the participants a safe opportunity to feel empowered in the here and now as well as in their own bodies. Clients are encouraged to find empowering activities throughout their day after they leave the STEP group. Now allow me to introduce Emily, who will be discussing the applications of STEP.